So our hope is to sneak attack. We'll kind of sneak up through here and try to keep low to the ground. What's going on?
The call usually starts with an imperiled prairie dog colony. It is going to be bulldozed, or it's going to be poisoned and then bulldozed because a development is coming in.
When you're given the option of having prairie dogs that are going to be lethally controlled, absolutely, let's give them another shot.
They may be poisoning in 2 weeks. Let us come in, we'll water evacuate. Prairie dogs, because they're hardwired to survive, floods and flash floods always come into the flow of the water. So if you put the water down this hole, 95% of them are going to come right up into the flow. I've done as many as 8 prairie dogs coming out of one hole, and you're stashing them everywhere, trying to hold on to them. They're an amazing creature that just really does good things for the environment. That's a species that should be protected.
The rate of biodiversity is so much higher on a prairie dog colony than off.
Reintroducing prairie dogs to a collapsed ecosystem can cause the ecosystem to build back up. As the prairie dogs start burrowing, they start promoting the growth of different kinds of vegetation. Other animals come in, using the burrows, preying on the prairie dogs, eating the vegetation that the prairie dogs are causing to resprout. Over time, you start rebuilding the ecosystem that you once had.
Most prairie dogs were pretty much decimated by the 1920s through federally funded poisoning campaigns for fear of damage to crops and for fear of competition with livestock and grazing. Most people don't realize that there's any problem. Prairie dogs can go extinct.
Humans have impacted everything. If we're going to save a species, we've got to become involved. We have to pay attention to what they need and try to save it as best we can.
We know we have to use extreme measures to try to bring these animals back. Their survival rate increases when we start a little home for them.
You have to have a good burrow to put these animals into, or the reintroduction is for naught.
They need to have somewhere to go and feel safe and protected while they're establishing their natural burrows.
An artificial burrow entails creating a nest tube or a nest box. We install corrugated pipe out of each end of that nest tube, and you've kind of just simulated a prairie dog burrow with a nest tube and 2 tunnels leading to above ground. Sometimes we're putting in 12 trenches, and sometimes we're putting in 75 trenches. And so the release site prep can be quite a big ordeal.
It works. It greatly increases the survivability rather than just putting them on the prairie and hoping for the best.
Yesterday we dug 108 burrows. There was a lot of bugs. We all had blisters.
It's dirty, it's hot, it's buggy. You know, it's kind of all those things that most people don't like.
Well, a lot of people burn out because it just is so difficult. But if you feel passionately about the natural world, you just keep doing it.
The release is definitely the most rewarding part of the project. You know, you've gone through weeks of preparation and trapping, and the culmination of all that hard work is in the releasing of the prairie dogs into their new habitat.
When you're releasing a prairie dog, it's really important to actually pick the prairie dog up from the kennel and place it into its new home. If you were to just release a prairie dog without placing it into its burrow, it would just run and it would be predated upon by, you name it, the badger, the coyote, the hawk, the eagle, the fox, the ferret, anything that's around there.
You ready? There he goes. Oh, come on, elongate. There you go. They're slippery. Oh, 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 oh.
loudmouth. But you're so freaking cute. Good luck, friend.
It's really critical to get these animals into the artificial burrow that you've created for them.
It doesn't take them long, usually less than a day, and then they are digging their way out. But they continue to go back and forth under that acclimation cap and using the burrow that we created for them.
After a period of 3 days, those acclimation cages are removed and the prairie dogs are able to go free. This is a really hard field of work to be in. We have a lot of losses. Sometimes you can feel like you're just swimming upstream the entire time. But if you can sit and watch those fat little prairie dogs, it brings it back home why we're doing all this.
It's a change of a life for those critters. They're where they're supposed to be. They're wild prairie dogs on the prairie.
These prairie dogs are so persecuted that to give some of them a second chance, I won't lie, is a good feeling.